What's up, guys? It is the Bad Wolf. Once again, your international man of mystery, your man in black. Let's get going. This particular video is going to be the gag reel. I'm not going to necessarily talk about anything specifically. We're going to talk about all the little pieces that I usually leave on the cutting room floor. All right, whatever comes to mind as we go through and unwind, if you will. So one of the things that stands out is I do look through the comment sections. Decently. I probably like 50% of the time at this point. And you can always tell when it's a paid actor or a bot or another guru from one of these channels, whether legit or illegitimate, um, in the comment section. And I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But with the gurus, now I can totally understand why the people in power, the elite, these paid actors, your judges, lawyers, police officers, whatever. I see why they don't like what I'm teaching. But the fact that they still want to bother me and whatever else, well, then I guess better they bother me than you guys. So if they're over here watching my platform and they're not trying to learn, hey, at least they're not bothering other people on their platform. So there's that. So that's a bonus. But the people who claim to be, and I do believe that most of them are fake, okay? Um, More so looking at these gurus, right? So gurus are the people with their own channels who teach basically the same things I do about your freedoms, your constitutional rights. Why is it that they take the time out of their day to bother me and my people? Are you so pathetic? You're so thirsty that you got to mention my name on your channel. You got to try to attack me from your channel. And then you got to try to come over to my channel and bother my people in the comment section. That's the whole reason why I had the comment section turned off since day one, is because of people and their bullshit games. Um, I mean, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I just want those people who do, put the negative comments in there or their little attacks or whatever else. I just want you guys to know that, like, I don't lose sleep over that. Okay. Like I said in my other video, like I laugh, as a matter of fact. You guys give me my daily laughter because when I sit here and read some of the comments of the negative people, um, I'm just laughing because we've already everything that we've done, we've proven that it works. We've gotten our remedy. Not one person to this date has shown, oh, well, they got prosecuted and thrown in prison and all and crazy, crazy stuff. The only people that have ever done any of this stuff that anything bad's happened is the people who decided to do above and beyond, do some bullshit with it. I'm going to circumvent. I'm going to use this for illicit or illegal or criminal activities. Yeah, and they should be like they do with the normal state level law and bullshit. Other than that, to me, I find it funny because when people are like, "Oh, there's no such thing as a national," we've we've proven it in the federal code. I've shown the code. So clearly you're paid or you're just a shithead. One of the two, or both. But when you're a guru on another channel and you're like, yeah, follow me. I wear glasses. I'm cool, this and that, or whatever it is they're doing, because usually they got to hide their face or um, hide their real name or whatever else. Okay, fine. And you're fighting allegedly for us you're on our side, right? You're a national, right? And you're on our side about freedoms, right? And you know there's a difference between the public and the private and the U.S. citizen and the national, right? State citizen, right? We're all on the same team, right? Well, then why are you attacking people like me and other good people out there and putting out misinformation? Like one of these people were like, "Oh, there's no such thing as right to travel." Well, the Supreme Court's already ruled on that. But I digress. I will say a number of the, and I pointed this out in the full right to travel video, which tells me that they don't watch all the videos. They take a little piece and then they run back to their little rat hole and then they want to make a video or talk about me or it or whatever else. And I think that's cute. I remember when I was 12, because if they had watched the whole videos, they would have heard me say, I've won all of my cases. Other people have won their cases. I've read other people's cases. I've showed how the federal and Supreme Court have already ruled because there's a difference. There is right to travel between the states. That was something that needed to be addressed, which seems like it's common knowledge, but they had to go to court over it. And that was one. And then there were other cases that we've quoted word for word, case number for case number, where it talks about the mode of travel, where they talk about you have the right to use a train, a horse, a wagon, or whatever the locomotion of the day is. These are the word for word what was in there. But I digress. Let's say that I'm wrong. Let's say that I'm wrong. That's fine. I can be. Here's the next issue. Why would you not want other people as Americans who have the right to damn near do anything we want in the free world? Why would you not want people to do what other people can do? And let me break this down. If you're from Canada and you come here, if you're from Mexico and you come here, you're from Europe and you come here, you're from Russia and you come here, and you have your vehicle registered in the home country or to your nation or to your church or to the Vatican, because the Vatican is its own nation too. And you come here, your vehicle is not registered in our database or the U.S. database. So essentially, they're doing right to travel, or what the legal system refers to as non-resident registration. You have the right to record your vehicle somewhere privately and not to the states. You can record it to the government, but you have the right to not do that either if you don't want to. You're only supposed to be recording your stuff if it's commercial and you're either a U.S. citizen by your birth and that's how you want to live, or you pledge to be a U.S. citizen and you want to pledge your stuff. That's it. It's just amazing how even if I was wrong, why would you want as a freedom alleged freedom fighter, a so-called freedom fighter, in the place of freedoms supposed to change the world, you sound just as back-ass antiquated these people as the people suppressing you. Yes, Mazel, I might talk for my rights, but I don't want the rest of this negroes to have the rights and the U.S. citizens too to have the rights. Boss, Mazel, look at what they doing over there. That's retarded. Sorry, I know some people don't like that word, but you are a special needs type of person. And at least normal special needs people are actually really great people. I wish that those people, by the blessing of God, could be graced and healed, and their limitations could be placed upon ignorant people, hurtful people, damaging people, evil people out there. If I could have that as a wish. Why would you want to suppress other people's rights? People are, gay people can marry. Yeah, why should they not be able to marry? Black, white, gay, straight, man, woman, man. What you want a five-way marriage? Have a five-way marriage. If that's between all of you guys and God, you ain't hurting anybody. Everybody should have those rights. And I might say some more controversial things. So, hey, then if you don't like what I'm saying now, then you probably shouldn't go over to my other YouTube channel, Unrestricted, because I talk pretty unrestricted over there. This is my gag reel for educational purposes on this particular channel, and a shameless plug to promote Unrestricted. So there's that. All right. So if you fight for freedoms and rights that other people don't think you should have, and even some of these other people, they're like, "Oh, you're misapplying the law. You don't know what you're talking about." They're saying the same things you're saying about me, about you. The only difference is I've heard them say it straight because I do know FBI agents, I do know DOD people, I do know police officers and sheriffs. So you're getting pissed on and you're mad at them, but then you want to piss on other people in the same niche trying to fight. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I've been saying this since day one. I don't have any problems with anybody else's YouTube channels out there. I don't care. You don't like me, bitch, you ain't gotta like me. I'm gonna still keep spilling Cristal on my white tea, or in this case, probably black, because I usually wear black. So that is ridiculous. You are no better than the scumsuckers who suppress all of us. And here's the thing. What is it? The Ninth and 10th Amendment? Yeah, I think it is. Where it basically leaves an open check that says if we have not covered a right or freedom, meaning if it's not enumerated, then it's unenumerated. And if it's a right and you're not hurting anybody, you can use those to declare you have the right to do it. But I digress. People hear and believe what they want to hear and believe. So do what you do. If anybody on any channel thinks I'm going to war with them or that I'm worried about them, I'm not. Really not. It really shows you guys do not know who my real person is at all. That being stated, it, what the elite want is for gurus and real bringers of knowledge and truth to fight and be against each other. That's why I won't do it. You've not ever heard me mention another channel on here like I'm warring or clapping back at them. I mentioned some of the stupid things that I hear. Oh, and by the way, what's funny is a number of these individuals, I've had to help a lot of your people out of jams by following your processes. And I've been hearing how a lot of them have been ripped off, not making your appointments, not getting the information they were promised in your courses, people arrested, people's friends contacted me to do consults because they followed some information on some of these gurus. I almost wonder if you know, a lot of these people actually even live the lifestyle that they're teaching, or is it just for the money? Just for the money? Are some of these people no better than the actors in Hollywood who do illicit things behind the scenes, but on the screen they seem like they're a good person for the money? Y'all doing it for the money? You don't really live these lifestyles? I'm sorry, I do. I fight and push back everywhere I can across the board. Not in general, just to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it to do it. I do it where I don't want the government, the state, the elite, whatever it is, as much as I can to encroach on my freedom and my health and my world. Whether that's installing water filters on the fridge, on my sink, on my bat, and my shower, to the city with my garbage cans. Suddenly they just didn't like where they were. I mean, every place across the board. So that's being American, is fighting against it, is living your life, and anywhere where someone tries to take any of your freedoms where you're not hurting anybody. We as Americans, Amurakans, natives, we have this right. There's people around the world who would want to be right here to have what we have. And we've got so-called brethren out here who want to throw dirt. Now, the proper way, if you read the Bible and you study business, is to give your brother good counsel. You don't talk about him or her. You give them good counsel. Hey, I have a question. when you mention this, what can you show and prove to, or even before that, like before I would criticize one of these other gurus, I would go and watch their content, research, and if what they show me does not match and doesn't work, then I would say, hey, good brother, here's why this doesn't work. But see, here's the thing. I've already done my research. Everything I show works. We've used it. I think there was literally one thing that I showed that didn't work effectively enough, and I removed that video. Doesn't mean it didn't work, it just means it wasn't effective enough. And I think we had one product that the system was fighting back enough, and I pulled that. Other than that, there's like two other videos that were so effective, they were mysteriously removed. So I think I know what I'm doing. Now, other things across the board. Have we been getting the successes? Yes, we have. But you know what I've come to learn? No matter what evidence you give, I could have 100 cases and we have well over that personally underneath Badwolf Unincorporated easily. Can you or those other people who are against us and this information and rights and freedoms as an American, can y'all say that? Probably not. But if you can, good. I'm not even going to hate on you if you do have successful cases. That's how it should be. Iron should sharpen iron. Wolves upgrade other wolves. That's how it should be. So, sorry, I'm not going to lose sleep over any negative comments or, whatever. If you want to put your negative comments in the things, cool. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. That is your opinion. It's not going to make me suddenly go, oh, I'm going to shut the YouTube channel down. I'm going to stop. That's not how it works. I don't expect everybody to like this information or to love me. I'm not Jesus or God. And if I was Jesus or God, guess what? Not everybody loves Jesus or God, and I don't stand to compare to them. I'm not nowhere near any of those levels. So why would I ever expect everybody to like me or this information? Matter of fact, I'll be honest. I didn't like this information when I first learned it or heard about it either. I was like, this can't be real. There's no way. And then I started reading lots and lots of court cases, and then I started specializing in certain areas. I buy the books. Matter of fact, I just had the use was it Lexicon, the law library. They drop ship their books now to me. I didn't even order anything. I just got a whole nother set of UCC books. Where are they? Matter of fact, they're right here. Those two right there, the same color. Yeah, just drop ship them. They're like, we know where you're gonna buy them. Here you go. It's like, okay. America's jurisprudence books. Another guru out there was like, "Oh, he's not even quoting from America's jurisprudence books." And when I get some more money, I'm going to buy even more books of those because that's not the full collection. I don't have any more room to put books, so I gotta confangle some things. Matter of fact, some of my extra books I'm sending out to people because I got too many at this point in time. So what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is, guys, is look, not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to like what you do. But I want everybody to be careful at whatever they're doing, whether it's a process or right to travel or whatever it is, wherever you're fighting, just be safe and cautious. There are a lot of people out there that no matter what you show them, it'll never be enough. It'll never be enough proof. It'll never be good enough. They don't want to believe it. They feel some type of way. And the thing about it is that people they get a little piece of information, a little piece of one angle, and they don't do full intrinsic legal level analysis of it, and they speak on it. That'd be like me saying right now, oh, I know what it's like to for a woman to go through childbirth and a doctor to birth one. I do not. I have been there. Uh, I am a mother cur. I've made some females mothers, or actually just one that I know of. And yet that's not my experience. So I'm not gonna downplay a doctor or a female on their actual experience versus my emotional feel or content about the event. I could study that for 20 years and still not know what the female goes through. So I'm not going to write a book on it. I can write a book on how I think it goes, but I've already gotten my wins in right to travel and various other court. I've helped people get through their federal court cases and won. I don't hear half of these people out here talking about any of that. So they can talk big on their platforms, and that's cool. I'm not mad at them. I'm not going to go to war with them. I'm not going to dispute things I already know. If I already know water's wet and they're saying that it's dry, hey, guess what? There is dry water powder out there. So cool, that's your perception. But here's the thing I'm not going to do is give the elite the entertainment. Yes, boss. Well, I'm going to fight the other slaves out there. Not going to happen. And if you're doing that, you're a piece of shit. But hey, if that's how you got to make your money at the end of the day, and whatever God or demon or deity that you believe in, may they have mercy on your soul. Because I'm fighting the good fight. That's all. Just trying to help the average person. Not trying to get rich. I can raise my prices every 2 weeks, every 2 months, like some people. I could scam people out of not being on their not showing up to the consultations. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people out there who don't like me, but usually those are the people who have some kind of emotional feel. You're teaching people stuff that they could abuse. People are abusing things and people already. I'm at least giving people hope and light for their actual rights and freedoms that they have by birth. You don't know what you're talking about. I've got court cases that prove otherwise, and judges who've asked me to join them that prove otherwise. I've contacted legal departments. I've talked to the IRS. I don't hear almost any of the other guys talking about any of this other stuff. They get a little bit of fame, they get a little punani, they drive a nice little car, got to kind of show it off. They're not in it for the right reasons, mostly. Now, that doesn't mean that some of what they're saying, or even a good chunk of what they're saying, isn't good information. But I'm going to tell you guys this. If you guys hear a guru, somebody on their platform, talking shit about another person, and they're not laying down the actual name, the crime, the bad things that they've done, that there's a problem. You're following the wrong person. I'll give you an example. Like my guy out there, Fearless Floyd. Fearless Floyd will put anybody on blast if he finds them to be bullshit. He doesn't care. He'll stand up to anybody. He is not afraid of anybody. I mean, I'm not either, but at the same time, I'm not here to ruffle any feathers. I don't care. As long as you leave me alone, you're not in front of me, bothering me or mine. You talk about me over on the other side of the fence. Cool. Knock yourself out. If you want, you can come say hello to my little buddy and get your mouth nutty. I don't really care. That's fine. Knock yourself out. Yay, good for you. I'm a grown ass man. Floyd will call you out by your name, your background. He'll look you up. He'll pull your information. He'll call you out on all that shit, ask you where you stand. He's going to get to the truth. So I highly support anybody out there supporting the fearlessfloydshow.com, the Fearless Floyd Show on YouTube. You know how me and Floyd met? Because he did it to me. And the moment I heard about that, I did it to him. And I was like, hey, you got some colorful things in your past there yourself, sir. And I have very few, if any. And I've talked about all my stuff on here. Ain't gonna hide. And that's how we became friends because we were like, we explained the little things. He explained his big stuff. I don't have anything major like that. I'm not gonna wood, thank you, Lord. And we were cool. You haven't seen Floyd do like some major big show on me, like, hey, this guy. So most of these people out here, how they feel. And then me and him talked and we became really good friends. And even if we don't agree on something, we agree to disagree and we're still cool. We're not going to fight. Not, that's not even a thing. And there's other good channels out there like A6, Finest Thing Walking, Fearless Floyd, of course, um, Brandon Joe Williams, Yesenia Rose, um, Eternal Zion, The Lighthouse, Rob Ryder, Sovereign Living. There's a number of other good channels out there of people that I would say I haven't seen them get people into any trouble. Now, of course, I can't name all of them because I'd be sitting here for a long time. But those are the ones that I've had interactions with or know me, I know them, and whatever else. So be careful in who you get your information from. It's okay to listen to a lot of different people out there. Just vet the information, vet the person you're dealing with. And if you hear them consistently calling you out of your name or talking down to you, how is that a leader? If they're hiding their face with masks and glasses and wardrobes, and you don't even know that you're following this person, but you don't know their real name. They're expensive. That's not really a leader to me. A leader should be able to stand on the light, in the light, and at the podium. That's how I look at it. I wouldn't follow anybody who I don't know the majority of their information. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. Who they are, I can't even see their face. They're hiding their real name. You can do what y'all want. Everybody's grown. But see, that's also why I don't play those little games that the system created trying to fight other people. That is childish. You're not a man. You're a male, an adult-sized boy or adult-sized girl. So let me break this down to you, okay? Especially for the ladies out there. If y'all haven't watched my TikTok channel or my Unrestricted channel, there's a difference between, and this might hurt some feelings of some people, but once again, this is how I get down on Badwolf Unrestricted, all right, and my TikTok channel, which I think is just the Bad Wolf on there, all one word, or it's James C Lovett, all one word. Both should find me. When it comes to the male species, a lot of females out there have never dated a real man, and they've definitely never dated a high quality man. Most of the time, these females have dated below average males. Okay. Imagine a 0 through 10. And this goes for females too. So everything I'm saying right here goes for females as well. 0 through 10. We're going to say an 8, 9, we'll say 9 and 8. Well, yeah, you know what? 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10 is a high value man. We're going to say a good man is like a 6 and a 7. Okay. An average man, we're going to say is a 5. Okay. And it's a big 5. It's really huge. Okay. We're going to then say anybody who's not a man yet is less than a 5, which would include boys. We're often young and stupid, horny, testosterone flaring. They don't know what's going on. They just want to dick anything down. They're smelly. They don't have their shit together. And then which would be anywhere between a 1 to a 4. But also in that 1 to a 4 are males who are full grown physically, but not mentally. This makes them an adult sized boy, probably a 3 or a 4. Now, they can be a fine looking 3 or a 4 on the man chart, and that's what a lot of girls fall for. They've never dated a real man. Real men carry themselves in a certain way. They don't play little games. They don't attack other males for no good reason. They stay focused on business, on the work. They've done the work on themselves. They're polished. They're GQ. They're not worried about what the next month is doing. As long as that ain't in front of them or messing with their lady and their family, that cat will live to see another day. They get a little too greasy, we have to do some things. But in general, you make yours and do yours. Don't mess with mine. That is the real code of a man. Anybody who strays from that immediately gets dropped down to being a four, an adult-sized boy. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of females have dated. And when they say, "Oh, all men ain't shit. All men are this. A real man that," you've never had a real man to even know. How can you talk about a real man when none of these females ever even mentioned a real man's name? And then if I'm like, okay, if that is a real man, how'd y'all break up? Who did what? Oh, he played me. He lied. Then he wasn't a real man. You were dating a four that looked like and had money like he was a nine or a 10, but he was really a four in the mind and you didn't see that, which means you have poor discernment. So come on. Same thing for females. Not every female is a woman. There are adult sized girls out there, tons of them, very delusional out there. And they've got YouTube channels where they look like nines and tens giving you advice and like, oh, she fine. She look like she got money. Yeah, bitch. She got the bag. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And then you find out they on some bullshit behind the scenes. They ain't living how they really moving. The one girl wasn't even a real PhD. The other one got some of her viewers unalive with her antics. Y'all's wild, man. Y'all's wild. But that's okay, cause see, real men, real women, real people, people getting their shit together. We are who we are. That's where it is. And I guess if people want to be, devils, dogs, and demons, that's what they can do. But best believe a real man is ready if somebody comes with that jazz. At the same time, though, we ain't got time for it. We ain't gonna go looking for no kind of trouble. But we for damn sure gonna handle it if it comes a knocking. And that's why we stay out of places that is a more than likely scenario or event to happen. So, other news in this area, guys, is that um, the government has definitely been making some changes, some good, some bad. They've been acknowledging the national standing. A lot of documents that they have are starting to be updated due to obfuscation, which is a federal offense of certain departments fraudulently hiding the standing covertly, giving you a slight legal remedy, but with no place to actually read about your options. They forcibly put the U.S. citizen title down, status, and if you don't know to check other or to attach a sheet of paper declaring who and what you are, then you're fraudulently under duress and coercion placed into something that you have as a legal right, but that you do not want to be depicted in that particular event. That's been changing slowly because they move slow. So don't expect it anytime soon. But in a number of forms, they've been doing that. Once again, to talk about the certified or the true copy, you do not need to have that authenticated. I'm a grown ass man, so here's the thing. I already mentioned this. Can you do it? Yes. Do you need to? No. If it's a certified copy of the original, you're good. If it's one that is not a true copy, but in fact a creation known as the birth certificate, that one you should get authenticated. However, you only really need to do any of that aspect if you're doing the passport process for the passport. In general, you don't really need to just do it. We're not Nike. Okay? Education speaking. Um, what else? So once again, to close out on right to travel, We've covered all of it. We've gotten the successes. Now, does that mean that every cop, every sheriff, every marshal, every whatever out there knows? No. Are they learning? Yes. Through my people and connections, they are rapidly talking about it, but it is like the telephone game. It has not reached everybody in the classroom as of yet. So that doesn't mean you're above the law, doesn't mean you can abuse it, doesn't mean that you should talk shit or be Billy Badass. No, you survive the event, whether you think he's right or wrong, you have your proof, and then you sue them over it. Make your money, get them fired. Don't sit there trying to be Billy Badass He-Man on the side of the road or anything like that. You're gonna survive the encounter and you're gonna make a ton of money off of them. But also, that being said, don't go and try to do it just to try to make some money. Because if they can prove that you've done it under a fraudulent way, like, oh, he was doing 100 miles an hour, well, then you were endangering public safety. You weren't enjoying your personal and private right and freedom. Then they're going to go after you. They're going to cut up your passport. They're going to take away all of that stuff. They're going to take away your property. You forfeited all those things. So you might be an American, but you're not untouchable. Nobody's untouchable. Nobody's untouchable. Okay. So that is one of the things I learned from some of my friends in the mafia is that you have to understand that there are lines and people that you give a good courtesy to. Just so you know, this is where you're at. These actions will result in this. You chill out. So when out there in the public, though operating privately, understand that you need to govern yourself as a non-belligerent, non-combatant, even if those people are wrong. There are methods in place that you can utilize to protect yourself. If you're in a position where they're going to take your life, then you have the right to defend yourself against anybody because the law officers are not above the law. Now, to address one of the things that happened with, and I didn't see the whole video, the Minneapolis pew pew scenario. Um, Even the government is not above the law. And if I was to look into that and do an investigation, okay, if I can prove that she was attempting to use the vehicle in a life-threatening manner, then yes, use of force can be used. However, these people are supposed to be professionals. Unless he immediately feared for his safety, they are supposed to use non-threatening, non-life-taking, well, threatening, but non-life-taking maneuvers and um, actions. If it's an immediate reaction to save your life, then and only then do they have the right to take or unalive a person. Anything less than that, it is a traffic infraction, which does not make that person judge, jury, and executioner. That's why they have the Separation of Powers Act. Nobody can be all three. But I'm not in charge of any agency on the public side. Well, I do have one, but it's public private. But none of the ones that would be involved in that. So, unfortunately, somebody lost their life. And once again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Don't go places or put yourself in positions or situations unless you're possibly prepared to pay that tax, that penalty. And some people are prepared for that. And I hope that they're doing it in the right way and not in a bad state of mind or for the wrong reasons. But I'll tell you this, the only reason why all of us are here, and let me say this correctly for the people in the back and the people out here who've gotten so high on their little horses. There are a number of people who have been unalived. or who died in the process to allow black people to be on YouTube. Maybe not directly, they didn't know about YouTube, but so that we could speak freely out into the United States corporations. There are a number of black people who have died for other black people. There are a number of white people who have died. There's a number of Asian people who have died. Native Americans who have died and paid heavy prices to fight the bad parts of our mostly good system. Imagine what some of these people would feel and say if they could see how YouTube black guy over here talks about this black guy, that white guy against that white guy. I guess that's America. You can feel how you want to feel, unjustified. Bits and pieces and fragments of a truth that you hold so dear, you're willing to play the game as if it's real, like a faith system. Your faith is so strong without doing full research on it that are willing to hurt somebody or tear down your fellow white man or black man or woman or gay or whatever it is because of your belief system. Well, here's the thing about that. Everybody has the right to feel and be emotional and whatever else. But what you don't have is the ability to take away somebody else's faith and life because of how you feel. Just because somebody is different than you doesn't mean that you have the right to put hands on them unless they're hurting you or yours or doing criminal damage or intent. You don't have that right. So many people out here are allowing the agendas. They don't even know that they're programmed. If you have you noticed the difference between my channel and other people's channels? You don't hear me talking or preaching any hate. I didn't even say even about the people who don't like me and attack me. I didn't say anything about we should hate them or not the government, not the states. We don't need to preach any form of hate. Hate only begets hate. I don't care how justified you feel in it, because your emotions, I'm just not. I'm not going to carry it on my chest. I did when I used to run the streets years ago, and I'm not going to lie, I did some messed up things. I made a name for myself out there. I ran with a lot of different crews and did a lot of things. The people I tell you that I hang around with or that I know or that I've got connections, I'm not lying. There's no reason to lie about it. But one day, I just got tired of it. Basically, almost all in one day. I'm not doing this to like make amends or be perfect angels out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that at some point in time, we got to grow up. And some people have grown up physically, and some people have grown up physically and mentally. Once again, it's that whole age of majority and yet being also competent. So to me, I see a lot of very incompetent people out there with platforms and pew pews and whatever else. And those are the people that we need to be careful and cautious and be prepared. Stay away from them, but then also be prepared to do what the event calls for. So that's it. This is my gag reel, you know. Got to have that one episode in there every once in a while that's not exactly the norm, but this fits into what we were talking about. But before we go, I want to thank and shout out to all the people who put the 99.9% positive comments, prayers, buys the products, utilizes the services, lives this life, makes donations, even when they don't have to, for the various videos on jamesclovett.com and my PayPal on Blackside32. Um, Once again, at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I live this life and I know it's works. We've won in court with everything on this channel. I've seen it. I've seen how they scatter like roaches when the lights come on, but there's always going to be that one that's got to test you. And there's always going to be that one. Every walk of my life, whether it's with my lady or an ex-girlfriend of mine or on YouTube or at a church, an officer, postal worker, garbage collector, everywhere across the board, there's always going to be somebody who wants to piss in your cornflakes. They're going to want a challenge. And you have to be prepared for that. If you can walk away, you walk away. And if you can't, or they won't let you, then defend yours with everything you got. Otherwise, much like your American rights, liberties, and freedoms, somebody will take them away. And then you and your generations and generations and generations thereon won't have anything. You won't have a claim to the land, and you'll be lost at sea. So, thanks to the people who believe and support out there, and to the other people who do not and want to hate and whatever else, I pray that you go through whatever you need to go through in this physical existence to become a better person. God bless America. God bless each and every one of you guys. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bad Wolf's out. Oh, hit that bell, like, and subscribe down there somewhere. I'll get the lights. Talk to you later.